Every so often, some brand or another takes a stab at a modular or upgradable laptop. And as someone who does an awful lot of PC building and is very pro right to repair, I am so here for it every single time. I even invested my own money in Framework to show my support for the dream. But alas, a dream it remains, because almost all of these efforts end up discontinued before they even become a real product, which raises the question, if all these big companies can't do it, how come this guy can? Byran here, custom designed, built, and open sourced his own ARM-powered laptop in just 6 months. And it's a shockingly potent machine. I'm talking a 4K AMOLED screen, Cherry MX mechanical keyboard, and a custom machined aluminum chassis. And the guy's still in high school. Then he casually throws together this highly polished video showing how he did it. I mean, have you seen my first videos? Obviously, I had to meet this guy, so hang on one second. Hey, Byran! Zoom is just so impersonal. So I flew Byran out here so I could check out the Anioni.
Yes, Anioni.
Yes, in person. And my first question for you is, do you dance?
I do.
Really? Yeah. Do you know the, do you know the segue?
Our sponsor Odoo helps you dance away the work headache. Moonwalk through all those crazy texts, keeping your business moving to the beat. They have over 50 apps covering everything from accounting to marketing to HR and more.
The ShipStorm sale event is live now on lttstore.com. You'll get free shipping on any order over $150 worldwide, so it's a great time to pick up a commuter backpack or a scribe driver, a screwdriver, or anything else you've had your eye on. And we're featuring our lowest price ever on our magnetic cable management essentials bundle. Go check it out at the link down below. Woo!
Didn't notice how bad the quality was.
It's funny you say that, because as I was walking up to set earlier, I saw your machine, I thought it was mine. I am impressed at how good it looks, actually. This is incredible.
Oh no, you broke it already?
Wow, that was actually really quick even for me. Okay, what happened?
It's all right. I don't really know.
Wait, did you just throw it away?
Yeah.
That was a screw.
It's okay. Screw, bad quality, but the important thing is that it's still all together, right?
Do you want to put the screw back in?
No, it's all right.
Because I think I have the perfect tool for you.
What is it?
What are you talking about?
Screwdriver from lttstore.com?
Yeah, let's go! My first and maybe most important question is why?
When I set out to make this laptop, I really wanted to focus on creating something. That's gonna be the memes forever now, right? That's gonna be in the drop reels going in the future.
You set me up.
I did.
You set me up?
I did, yeah. It looks like you didn't watch the video I made.
I skipped through a little bit.
Yeah, I can tell.
Well, see, here's the thing. Whenever I know that we're gonna be making a video about something, I go out of my way to cloister myself. I don't wanna learn any more about it than I have to. The keyboard, I know it's Cherry MX.
That's right.
I know that it was custom made, including the keycaps.
That's right.
You know that there are commercially available laptop keyboards, right? So what inspired you to take this detachable approach?
So when I set out to make it, I really wanted to focus on creating something that the keyboard will be a centerpiece of the laptop. And when I can't focus on the performance of the chip itself, I'm limited to, a crappy rock chip RK3588. I wanted to make the laptop stand out in other aspects, like the 4K AMOLED display, and of course, this wireless removable keyboard. The entire battery is enclosed in here, and it is a fully wireless Bluetooth keyboard, so it just, simply slots in to the laptop chassis magnetically, like so. And you can use it on another laptop, you can use it on this laptop, whatever you want. Putting in Cherry MX mechanical switches was a challenge that I really wanted to do, because I love mechanical keyboards.
You never actually answered the question of why.
So in the past, I really worked on a lot of open source electrical engineering projects. And so I've worked on various parts of what might be considered a laptop system, like power systems, keyboard, compute, display driving, human input. I worked for Keychron in the past, designing a new product. After making all those things, I really wanted to put everything together into this one cohesive package and make it open source for everyone to see.
I'm gonna try to use the keyboard first, because we haven't even powered this on yet. I want to have that experience a little bit later. I want to connect the keyboard to my laptop.
All right, great.
So I would assume there's a pairing button somewhere.
No, there isn't.
There is not.
There's also no off button on this keyboard. It's always on.
Wow.
Yeah.
Good.
Yeah, of course.
It's convenient.
It is.
Okay.
It's always on. And the reason it can do that is because it's on ZMK, so it runs almost a year on a single charge. No way. Yeah, almost a year. I haven't charged it really since I built it.
94%. It even has battery life reporting?
Yep.
You gotta be kidding me.
Yeah.
That is very cool. Also, I cheated a little bit. While you were distracted, I pressed down on one of the keys. That is a shocking amount of travel.
That's right.
Considering how thin this thing is.
Yep.
Like it's like it goes all the way down to the PCB.
Every single slice of this keyboard has been designed to be as thin as possible.
If someone brought this to me as a V1 prototype of a product, I'd be like, f***ing send it.
Yeah.
Because this is awesome. I don't know if you know this, but I'm actually a 915 TKL user.
Yeah.
And what I love about it is that it's a desktop keyboard, but it's super low profile, and I love the feel of the key switches. I would say there's a little work to do on the profile of this before it was a retail product. But in terms of the feel, like what you've accomplished here is outstanding.
Yes.
He knows
Thank you so much. Thank you.
He knows it.
Thank you. Yeah.
It has a shockingly typewriter-esque sound.
Yeah.
I actually kind of love it. Here, hold on. You gotta kind of hear it up close. Like it has a bit of a clang, which in the mechanical keyboard space is not quote unquote desirable. But it does it in kind of a cool way. I guess my next question is, how confident were you going into this that you would be able to build something resembling, like I said, I mistook it for my own machine, right?
Yeah.
A real laptop.
Are you calling mine a fake?
No, I'm calling it not commercial.
Yeah. I set myself really high bars. Like I looked at a Framework 13 and I looked at a 14-inch MacBook Pro. I tried to make as many comparisons as I could to them and accomplish as close as I possibly could. The confidence, pretty much zero.
Why don't we talk about the thing that really sets this machine apart from other DIY laptops, and that is the machined body.
It's less flex than yours.
Hold on, let's validate this. Okay.
Okay, that's a lot of flex. Pretty good.
I think that is
I've
less
never done that
flex.
to it. I'm just too scared. Yeah.
Well, it didn't break, so that's
Yeah,
let's go!
So in choosing the chassis design and the material and the anodization, I made a bunch of these cubes. This is half of the cubes I evaluated. And so in the end, I settled on this one. The reason I know it's this one is because I actually milled into it, so I knew how malleable the metal was if I had to modify it later on.
Oh, got it. So you were looking both at the finish
Yep.
and at the actual material. Because we say, oh, it's made of aluminum, but almost nothing is made of pure aluminum. It's made out of some aluminum alloy, and they have very different properties potentially.
The unibody design is quite special than a traditional laptop. The palm rest, or the mid plate as I call it, actually screws in from the top. And the reason stems from the actual keyboard being a removable, detachable piece.
Right.
So I wanted it to just slide right in, and the most optimal position to do, way to do that would be by having the bottom completely screwless, there's nothing behind it, and you just machine out basically this bottom shell, and then the top shell. And then you put framework hinges.
Yeah.
Investment disclosure, right?
Yeah.
Yep. All right. So you put these hinges in, and you just, it'll come together just like that.
Obviously, it's a function-first design, but I want to have a quick philosophical conversation with you. Personally, I don't like seeing the function of a product harmed by this, I feel, irrational desire to hide screws.
Yep.
Do you think it's okay to just have some screws visible on something?
Of course. I mean, why not? If you get to where you need to go, screws are the way.
Well,
I also have duct tape there,
Okay.
There's only two types of screws. There's only Torx and Phillips on there.
Nice and repairable.
And now we're pulling up the CAD. So this is the bottom chassis itself, and
No wonder it's so
CNC'd.
rigid.
Yeah, it is fully CNC'd and
heavy.
what?
It's a little heavy.
Oh yeah, hefty.
Yeah.
Hefty.
Yeah, I missed the F. Hefty.
There's a lot of different parts that comes to fit into the actual chassis, including
Right.
the two Framework 13 hinges.
Yep.
And then so the powertrain board mounts right over here.
Yep.
And then the actual main compute board, I call it the main board or the motherboard, goes right here.
Did you call it that? Did you come up with that term?
No,
Mainboard?
I didn't, but I call it that. And then here we have 4 individual battery cells, and I wanted to make these battery cells separate. One is for safety. I didn't want to blow up like the entire laptop when I was sleeping, but it also allows me to build a custom battery pack, so I can specify to however much I want. This can actually discharge 150 watts at any given moment, but obviously it won't ever do that. But just for the
Not on
future,
a rock chip.
not on a rock chip. Here on the left side,
Right.
we have 2 USB C 3.1 Gen 2 ports. I don't have the firmware to support a external display on them just yet, but maybe in the future. In the many revisions I made with the laptop, I actually have 3 separate designs for the main board. I switched from an HDMI, which didn't really work and the signal integrity was a little off. I switched to a USB 2.0 port at the very end. Also just because I was mad that, how can a MacBook not fit a USB 2.0, a USB-A port?
Yeah.
And this is no thinner. This is no thicker.
Since we're at it, why don't we look at the rest of the I/O? You've got a micro SD reader, nice to see. Headphone jack.
Doesn't work.
Oh.
Yeah, bad engineering.
Oh.
Yeah, it just didn't work. I don't know why.
And then this is a power-only input, right?
Yes.
So you cannot charge the battery from this side, I would assume.
Fortunately not. The reason you can't charge from these USB-C ports is because I wanted to separate the compute and the power system so they individually function first to save the timeline.
This looks great, by the way. This is very classy.
Yeah.
I really like that. So did you just take it to a third-party shop to have it machined out?
I did. I got it CNC'd by JLC. It didn't cost that much. It only costed what, $300 to $500.
Really?
For the entire chassis, every metal piece combined.
And that included the cost of the metal?
Yes, it does. And the anodization. So it came to me fully blacked out already.
Oh, dude, I would have guessed over $1,000 for sure.
You want to take a guess at how much this laptop costed? R&D, everything added up together?
How are you calculating the R&D? What are you billing out at?
Everything that I bought to make this laptop.
So just parts.
Just parts. Every failed revision, every misinput, everything that I had to buy because I burned it, all of that added up.
So really, I should be looking more at you than at that, because it's like, how much would he burn? How much would he destroy? A lot. I'm gonna say
what?
5K.
You're spot on. It's around 4.8, 5K.
Really?
Yeah.
I still got it.
Oh my god. Yeah.
Well, look, we've developed a number of products ourselves, so I have some idea of what the failure rates are like when you're trying to figure stuff out. Yeah. This is a big moment. I get to turn it on now. I have expected it to make like a Mac bong noise or something. I don't know if you're an Apple fan
turns
or
on
whatever.
it a bit. There it goes.
Oh, dude, you got like a splash screen and everything. That's cool.
Thank you.
That's cool. I still remember when I set up my old machine when I was about your age to have a Jolly Roger for the Windows XP loading screen, and it said Windows XP Pirate Edition.
I might not be alive for that.
Okay, let's get through this video, and then I retire. Is reception an issue? Where did you put your antennas?
Yeah, so the antennas are actually underneath the space between the battery and the palm rest.
So there's metal in front of them.
Yes.
But
metal and air are just, the difference of molecules, right? Basically.
I mean, yeah. Are you sure you wouldn't have considered maybe, running them up here like they do on other laptops?
Yeah, but I got lazy. From my past having done 2.4 gigahertz and 5 gigahertz and RF engineering, it doesn't really matter if you're going through metal that much.
All right, let's see this display. Okay, man, this display looks incredible. Okay, so let's talk a little bit about that. Where on earth do you go about getting a 4K AMOLED panel if you need one?
I was just looking through, scrolling, and I found this panel, the ATNA33TP11 from Samsung. That's the 4K AMOLED display panel you see here. It was on some old Asus laptops from 3-4 years ago, and I really liked it because it looks so good. And
it looks awesome.
And so I bought some off of Taobao, the Chinese AliExpress basically.
Yeah.
And the hard part was running it directly from the RK3588 over embedded DisplayPort.
Right, because here's the thing. Embedded DisplayPort theoretically is a standard, but everyone, both on the system side and the panel side, f***s around with it. So how did you get it working?
Yeah, one sec.
He's gone. He left. I mean, I broke his laptop, I guess. I kind of had it coming.
When I first started the project, I chose this RK3588 system on a module.
Yeah.
So it slots into this development board, just like that, just pops it right in.
Beautiful. Is this that thing that we featured, the little NAS thing?
It is. You were the one that inspired it.
Oh, that's cool.
Great, nice little board, and you can make it a laptop now.
Yeah, it's a really cool little board. We're probably going to have a float plane behind the scenes for this with some extras, so check it out, lmg.gg/floatplane.
It's for the wireless. What the?
Yeah.
Sir?
Now, when you talked about different pinouts, different protocols, OLED panels actually have a different pinout than LCDs. And since no one DIYs OLED panels, I had to reverse engineer them from a data dump on Linux from the Asus laptop that used to have them. So after doing some reverse engineering and maybe procuring a datasheet, this is the cable that is needed to drive the display. Very, very fine pitch 40-pin cable, and it's impedance matched to the EDP specifications. And that's at least one thing that they go by somewhat.
How do you source one of these? How do you know it's the right one?
Yeah, so on Taobao, they actually sell OLED EDP cables. And so I just bought one and pray that it works. Unfortunately, it didn't really work because these cables actually convert from a standard LCD pinout to an OLED pinout, which is not what I actually want.
Oh, because you want to go native.
Yes, I want to go OLED to OLED. Yes.
So then what did you have to do?
So what I did was I made 2 of these boards. They look wildly different from one another because one of them works and one of them doesn't. Can you guess which one works and which one doesn't, Linus?
I'm going to say this one works.
How did you know?
Because it's just simpler.
He's right. He's right. So, actually,
we've designed a couple products.
RF engineering is kind of black magic. So a lot of the signals you can't really probe, you just have to guess based on vibes. So my guess was that this was just too much loss. And it looks really, really cursed plugging into HDMI. But actually,
let's see.
the RK3588 itself has a multiplexer inside the chip that takes either HDMI or embedded DisplayPort and sends it out.
Right.
So what I actually did was I changed the Linux kernel driver, or the device tree, to output EDP off of this HDMI port instead. And
then you went straight into here. Boom.
Yeah, and after a lot of kernel development and some a lot of device tree definition development,
Boom.
It just works. Plug it in and it just works as a native display.
Let's talk about the trackpad. This thing feels great.
Yeah.
Is this glass?
It is glass topped.
Man, everyone should just use a trackpad with a glass top like this. Sorry, what gesture did you want me to
If you do 3 finger like that, like on a MacBook.
Hey, look at that. Oh, I love it. Fun fact, by the way, Linux had that like a decade before anyone else did.
I have a spare trackpad right here.
Oh,
it's
cool.
a module from a Zotac.
A Zotac?
A Zotac. So they're an OEM trackpad manufacturer. I decided to just buy a module and modify it to fit within this laptop. They actually don't make it anymore. I think they were losing money selling them. So
it's too bad that they don't continue to sell them, because for DIYers, dev kits can be an absolute lifesaver. I want to hear the speakers.
Your speakers? Oh, they will shock you.
What flavor of Linux are we on right now?
Ubuntu. Yeah. The crazy thing is if you press it down,
Backlit and not forelit, whereas I'm just lit. Why am I so fresh? Is that drinking?
I said it was gonna blow you away, right?
Yeah, you didn't say if it was going to be in a good way or a bad way, so I certainly can't call you a liar then. Now I have a question for you. You obviously are using an ARM-based chip for cost and power efficiency reasons, and also because there's no way Intel's going to send you, the drawings that you would need to develop an Intel-based laptop or whatever. Yeah. Did you really feel like that was that much of a compromise these days?
I think with the RK3588, it really wasn't that big of a compromise because you can do pretty much everything that you'd expect on a mid-low end laptop. Of course, you can't play, Baldur's Gate or something, but
sure,
you can do, regular everyday tasks on it, no problem. Theoretically, there is a project that's working on having Windows run on RK3588 based chips, but the development it requires to support custom hardware like mine, where I made a motherboard and I made the power system and driving the display, it requires a lot of work to develop the firmware itself to boot the laptop and get it to a working state.
That's super cool. I want to see Minecraft. So, you said 4K 60. I guess you meant 4K 60 hertz, not 4K 60 frames per second.
Well, you see, if you look down at the ground, you get 60 FPS.
I see.
Yeah. But, it's playable. It's playable. Especially on Bed Wars, Hypixel, where you're actually rendering a lot less than a world, you actually hit quite high frame rates. It looks great, right?
It does. It does look great. There's no webcam.
No.
What was your reason, though?
Well, publicly, it's for privacy. But honestly, it's just so difficult to implement something so thin. I didn't have the time and the capability to fit in a full webcam and run it through this entire display. And
it's easy to complain about webcams. It's really hard to make a better one. I am playing video games right now on this laptop, which looks like a real laptop and obviously has some rough edges.
Yep, it's falling apart a little.
What would you say is your biggest specialty that helped you execute this?
It's making these circuit boards myself.
Yeah. And you can see here, he's got his own silk screening. This board here is clearly a lot smaller than the development board here. Got your own socketed M.2, your own socketed Wi-Fi module slot. The fact that this works is a small miracle.
Are you doubting my skill, Linus?
Nope. I'm saying that the fact that your skill exists is a small miracle.
Thank you, thank you.
I'm calling you a miracle. Take a compliment.
Thank you, Linus. I appreciate it.
Wow. And that's it.
Oh, sorry, I have this one too.
And then we just put the rock chip,
That's right.
daughter board, brain board, whatever you want to call it, on there. Boom, just like that. This is outstanding. Like the density here, I would be impressed if I saw this on a professional product, let alone, no offense, but from like some kid. How many layers is this?
6 layers. So I have the top and bottom layer for signal and power, the second 2 layers for impedance matching as a ground reference plane, and the middle 2 layers as power rails. So every trace on the high-speed signaling, like the USB-C, USB-A, SD card, they are all impedance matched, in particular the embedded display port signaling. Everything in this region is impedance controlled and impedance calculated, simulated, all of that, to make sure that the signals don't get interfered with on its way to whatever you need to do.
And that stuff is a bitch and a half. Like, wow. Now, the last question that I'm sure people are going to be asking is, this project obviously raised your profile a fair bit. Have you gotten any interesting job offers?
Yeah, I can't disclose much, but I did get more job offers than the number on my hands, which is great. I'm super grateful for that. Yeah. And I got to make a video with you.
Well, I mean,
that's the best thing I got.
Sure. yeah, the guys who work here. You can see how excited they are about it. Wow, really? But I bet whoever gave them to him doesn't dance around topless like a firefighter.
It's a little traumatizing. I can send you the design files for the circuit boards because a lot of people wonder how you make circuit boards like this.
Pretty much anyone can get a circuit board made.
This costs at $60.
$60, yeah. Like it is shockingly affordable. With this out of the way, what's your next big project?
Yeah, so I have 2 projects that I'm trying to get to right now. One is a super light mouse that doesn't have a battery, and I'm gonna leave it at that. So it's super light, there's no battery, but it's wireless.
Okay, no spoilers, you'll have to subscribe to his channel. What's the other one?
Hopefully in the future, I'll get to making a second revision of the laptop, where I'm gonna have a better chip, better everything, and maybe get to making some kits.
Yeah, that would actually be really cool. I mean, you've open sourced all of this, right?
That's right, yeah. Everything you see on this table is completely open source on my GitHub.
That's super cool. So we're gonna have that linked in the video description. I love this keyboard. The keyboard, dude, this is really cool. This is a really cool showcase piece. But
you really like the keyboard.
But this is a product. That's very cool.
Thank you, yeah.
And you know what else is cool?
Firing Colton shouldn't be a joke. What we actually take to fire Colton.
Okay, Dennis, we talk about this every month.
Odoo is sponsoring this video. Take this.
All right, sit down, let's talk. Let's check his attendance. We gotta find something. Oh man, he's actually been really reliable.
Wait, what?
And he's been doing all this OT. He might actually be working really hard, Dennis.
Showing up to work doesn't mean he's actually working.
Yeah, that's true. Let's check his goals then.
Excuse me?
He actually accomplished all of his goals. Dennis, you need to pay me more. Okay.
What if it's been expenses his personal stuff at work? That can be a big problem.
Oh wow, he's expensed like $3,000 in March. What, pizza party with friends for $900?
That sounds very suspicious.
Yeah, I didn't get invited to this party.
Colton, you're so fired. Colton, you're fired! Happy birthday!
If you guys enjoyed this video, then you will enjoy Byron's deeper look, which, as I admitted before, I have only skimmed, but now I get to watch fully. And I'm really excited for that because he goes into a little bit more depth on some of the individual design choices as well as like the specs, which we kind of glossed over here. So guys, you're gonna wanna check out his video. You're gonna wanna check out his GitHub. Is there anything else you wanna shout out since you're here?
Thank you to everyone for supporting me. Hi, Mom. Thank you for having me.
Oh yeah, my pleasure, dude.
Oh my god.
Really nice to meet you, man.
Nice to meet you, Linus.